Stand by for action. We are about to launch
the Soul of Detroit.
Mark, Sean, the Milligan.
Out of my face. It's gone.
What are you doing? Come on.
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might be qualified, Melvin.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now, Alric?
That was impressive, Mark. I didn't know you had such range.
I have incredible singing range.
That is Geddy Lee somewhere is cowering.
Wow.
But I don't really want to talk about my fascination with Canadian rock bands because last time we did, I had to leave a very satisfying and fairly lucrative position. So
Oh, that's right.
No reference to Triumph. Forget. We won't even get to Chilliwack. So Rush is out too. But that's the vocal stylings of Mark Fellhauer in our very, very elegantly produced opening segment. Sean Windsor is here, looking bemused, and our special guest today is Sean Mann.
To say to you.
I think you're about to contradict yourself very soon. We're joined by Sean Mann, who is now the CEO. Is that official? President, CEO, founder, and also sweeps up the locker rooms for the Detroit City Football Club, Detroit's newest professional soccer team. And I'm asked all the time, which Detroit sports franchise, which Michigan sports franchise is going to be the next one to win a championship? And I'm always like, DCFC. I mean, you guys are doing great.
Yeah, we're humming.
And we've got Sean on not only because we think that Detroit City Football Club is one of the best things going in the city of Detroit. And I can say that now without having to how do I say this, disclaim that I am an investor in the Keyworth Stadium renovation because those investors have been paid off. Yep. All the targets were met. And so now, whether or not you go to the games, I have nothing to gain other than seeing your bright and shining faces there at one of the best fan experiences in the city of Detroit. So it won't help me one bit, but I still hope you come out to Keyworth this summer, but it's pretty soon.
Yeah, the spring, winter. Yeah, it's coming up real quick.
So we're going to talk to Sean in just a minute about sort of how this new league came about because, as you may know, this team started out with a bunch of friends putting it together. In ways, it was an amateur endeavor, but in no way amateurish. And now they made a big bet last year. Last time we had Sean on, we told him, don't screw it up. And it looks like they didn't. So that's good. I wish everybody paid such close attention to the wisdom that we're dropping here in the basement. But first I want to thank Northwestern Tech, who is our Facebook Live sponsor. Thanks to all of you who are watching us on Facebook Live. I want to remind you, too, that you're only getting a portion of the show on Facebook Live, so please continue to tune in and watch. But download the whole episode, not only because you missed some really good stuff that we don't put on Facebook for various reasons, but because we could use a download, so I'll just be completely candid. There's a real...
We're doing fine.
There's a real disclaimer. But no, we are doing very well, and we appreciate your support because we're nowhere without you guys, and we're also nowhere without our sponsors. But Northwestern Tech, they are the heating and cooling school in Southfield, and HVAC is all they teach. The program is only about 10 and a half months. And guys, if you think this is a sausage fest, it's not. Women are encouraged to come to Northwestern Tech and get involved in these professions. And the great thing about these professions is when we're talking about outsourcing and we're talking about jobs going away, the work that Northwestern Tech grads do has to be done here in the United States. You cannot offshore this. You will not be your need, the need for you will not be affected by the coronavirus in some far-flung country where they can't ship things over. So if you want a job, a career, a profession that will put you ahead, get you off the damn couch, get you in the game, And you can find out more about this at Northwestern Tech's website, which is northwesterntech, one word, .edu. So northwesterntech.edu. And I think maybe I need to sign up for that Scripps Howard thing, which is probably not too far down the road for it either. But listen.
It's a long way to go.
Yeah, get your ass over there. Tell them ML sent you, and then you can fix my toilet. Sound like a deal? Sounds like a good deal. So, Sean, speaking of fixing things, before we talk about the season coming up, people can still get tickets, right? Because I know the Gold Pass is sold out, right?
Yeah. The season ticket still available. Best deal in sports. $120 every game, including postseason. Which we hope we're banking on having postseason games. So
and when you say every game, we're talking about more games this season than we've had in the past, right?
Yeah. So season's going from, actually we had our first game last Friday night in LA.
Victory.
Yep. Victory. And it will go up until Thanksgiving with the men's spring and fall seasons. And then in between we launched a women's team. And so that'll be the bridge between the two men's seasons.
I forgot about the women's team. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Lots of soccer happening at Keyworth this year.
So
Sean Windsor is going to be covering every game of the women's team, right, Sean?
Sure.
You're sick of men doing everything, so this is your chance.
I'll be there. Just don't tell Mark.
Well, I am kind of curious. I didn't want to go down this path yet. About
really
adding the women's team because I'm interested in the whole fight. I mean, it's hard enough getting soccer going. How do you do it with a women's team? I mean, the intention's good, but how do you make money on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's anecdotal, but we had open tryouts for the women's team, same way we did for the men's team.
I was the first cut.
Because you're not a woman.
No, because I'm really bad at soccer. But
we did at our clubhouse.
You're saying women are bad at soccer?
No, I'm saying I'm bad at soccer.
But the funny thing is, we had more people turn out for the women's tryout than we did the men's tryout. And our rabid fans, I think they're passionate about the club. They also, it's a progressive streak to them. So those people that set the atmosphere and setting off the smoke and singing, chanting.
Is it a professional team?
No, it's going to be.
So it's an amateur.
It's starting the same place we started.
Okay.
The men's start. So it's college, off season, May, June, July. So our most rabid fans, as a point of pride, are going to come to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that same atmosphere you're going to see. But also, one of the things is last year we grew by adding all these youth clubs in the region, and we did these town halls. And we thought we'd get beat up at the town halls about parents being like, "I don't want to hear their swearing. Is it safe going into Detroit?"
The Northern Guard. God bless you guys in the Northern Guard. I'll never offend you.
We thought that was the feedback we get. The only question we got was, "Why don't you have a women's team?" Half the participants in this youth club are girls. Why don't you have a team for them to look up to? So
well, and girls, young women's travel soccer is crazy. I have more friends whose daughters have gotten college scholarships playing soccer than have sons who are getting college scholarships playing soccer, which is saying something because there are so many more men's programs. But yeah, there's a lot of girls out there, and they're just as crazy as the boys playing 12 months out of the year. I mean, it's nuts.
And we're not talking about girls, though. We're talking about women.
Yeah, and I mean, what we've seen
but
is
girls become women.
Well, to you, Mark, it's the same, right?
Well, they should be. I'm all for equality.
No, I'm saying girls and women.
Well, no, but my question was, I mean,
You call women girls is what I'm saying.
I call them chicks.
There we go. I was trying to get to that.
There's the women's is, like you said, amateur. Is there an intention to make them professional, and is that lucrative?
I mean, we're approaching it. We'll take it year by year and grow it like we did the men's team. But
there is the NWSL.
Yeah.
Are they profitable? Just out of curiosity.
My understanding is not. There's not a lot of people making money in soccer, regardless of level, men's or women's. But no, I don't think they are. But a lot of the people getting into soccer see it as an affinity investment that it's generational.
Sure.
It's a quick return. So one of the things I would say is the feedback from families has been tremendous, but also corporate partners. I think coming off the World Cup, but just in general, there's a lot of interest in women's soccer. So,
well, certainly the women's World Cup team was vastly more successful than the men's World Cup team. I guess we didn't actually have a World Cup team, right? Because we didn't qualify. So let's hear it. Let's hear it for the ladies, or the women, or the girls, or Los Chicas, whatever is going to satisfy Sean. Sean Windsor. Sean Mann, very satisfied. It's from hard work. That's where it comes from. But Sean, I want to talk about how you guys had been preparing to start this professional league, and then you did go professional, but there was kind of a tipping point there where it looked like, hey, is this all going to... And I don't know that anybody really got a sense of how close you guys were to seeing this thing fall apart.
So us and a group of other teams that are kind of similarly community-oriented, kind of have developed a reputation of being outsiders in American soccer.
And big cities, too. We're not talking about around Michigan. We're talking, was it
New York
Nashville,
Cosmos,
Tampa, New York?
Chattanooga, Miami. Yeah. And so there's U.S. Soccer Federation governs the sport of soccer in this country. There's not really a governing body to baseball or football. There's the big leagues, right, that really rule it. So that U.S. Soccer Federation's kind of in cahoots with Major League Soccer. And they've put in place these rules that dictate which level of soccer you are, or if you can call yourself professional. We didn't technically meet the standards of being professional just because our ownership group. We were 5 guys.
Because you didn't have a whale. You didn't have a billionaire behind you.
Right. We were 5 guys. We each chipped in $2,400 and lost sweat equity over 8 years. And there were similar clubs who'd done very well. And so we were being boxed out of professional soccer. So we were trying to form another league outside of those standards. And that's what we announced. That's what we moved forward with. And over the course of the year, we ran into roadblock, primarily over insurance.
So it's all starting to fall apart now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are like, hey, I can't wait. We get another month of soccer. Hey, good job, Sean. I mean,
Right.
Were you guys freaking out?
It's falling apart. I found myself flying with 12 hours notice to Florida to meet with a random guy in the hopes of their insurance carrier. Found ourselves in conversations with Latino leagues in New Jersey who may be able to sanction us. It was sort of this like wild goose chase of trying to pull it together. And in the end, we promised that we were going to play the games in the fall. We found a path to get them done in the fall, but we needed a long-term solution. Same time we were doing that, there was another league that was launching that was going to operate inside the U.S. sanctioning of U.S. soccer sanctioning. And so we ended up merging our efforts. And so now we jumped through the hoops and we are now professional. We've been certified by U.S. Soccer as being professional. And so, it's been a wild ride. But
what league? It sounds like there's too many leagues.
Yeah, there's too many leagues, too many acronyms, and they all revolve around the same 5 words related to the nation and soccer. So it's hard for fans to keep track of it.
Well, it's hard enough, like if you're a fan of European soccer, to keep track of the tiers and what's what. But here, there's really no tiers. Or are there tiers?
No, there
would have been some tears if that extra season had been canceled.
Yeah,
and some angry people with smoke bombs marching on Sean's house.
Well, that's what silly
and it's Sean's address, by the way. We'll have that. We'll have that at our website if you want to look that up. MLSoulofDetroit.com.
Yeah, no, it's silly. There are tiers. There's like MLS is the first division. There's USL that's the second division, and we're now the third division.
But if there's no promotion and regulation between the tiers, who cares?
Exactly.
Is that why there's too many throwaway leagues that just pop up and disappear and then teams move around?
No, I think that's there's lawsuits questioning why do we have tiers if there's no promotion relegation? There was an entity that was trying to force promotion relegation. U.S. Soccer is the only entity now that FIFA has an exemption for not requiring promotion relegation. So, frankly, at the end of it, we were exhausted and U.S. Soccer is a mess. And, for us, we're just focusing on putting on a great event at, Keyworth and just continuing being Detroit's soccer team.
Yeah, the average fan, I don't think, really cares if they can go and just have a good time. And now you guys have expanded. Now there's a TV contract, which is big.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we're going to be on TV 20 this year. Most of our games will be broadcast on there, including a couple of the women's games.
That's where the Detroit Red Wings started broadcasting their hockey games.
On 20 or 50?
I think it was on channel. Wasn't it on
50 was a monster.
Weren't they on Pass TV, which you only got after 8 o'clock on, or was it on TV originally when you had to?
So our broadcast partner is Stroh's.
So you could be going all the way up there.
How did that TV deal come together?
Stroh's is my second favorite locally brewed beer, by the way.
Did you go out to them? Did they come to you? Did you shop it?
Yeah, we talked to them last year. We're actually self-producing it.
Smart.
Yeah, we reached a critical mass of sponsors that we were able to convince to pay for it and then some. And so, we're putting it on ourselves. We have the internal team to do TV broadcasts. So,
if I can ask, why TV 20?
Well, if you look at like practically speaking, Fox Sports has everything. So
Yeah.
until they get Fox Sports Detroit Ocho, like we weren't gonna. Like,
You want to be able to see it
yeah, but also came down to like accessibility, right? Like that we did a fan survey, and fewer than half of our fans not only have Fox Sports, they don't have cable anymore. So it really made no sense.
cord cutters.
Yeah. So so we'll simulcast all the games streaming wise, and then most will be on Fox
that's
Sports.
perfect. Then.
So I want to hear more about what's coming up. I keep fixating on this point, but I just, as someone who loves the team and has followed the team and looks forward to going to games, I remember thinking, are we going to get these extra games? Just before we move on, tell me what you guys did to pull off that extra season that wasn't going to happen with all the teams you thought were going to be there. I mean, 1 or 2 came through, but I mean, we just calling people saying, hey, if you can get to Detroit, we got a game and, we can buy you the beers. And is it like trying to find a goalie in hockey? You're like, hey, dude, do you play goalie? We'll get you pizza afterwards, whatever you need. Yeah,
I mean, I mentally have blocked out some of it, like PTSD. It was a classic example of like game theory where, we started out 12 and then there were stronger and weaker ones, people who were like peeling off. And some people I just told them like, F off. Like, I know you're not going to get on a plane to come out here. And there was one squirrely guy in Arizona who had a plan that he's basically assigned 5 guys on a roster and then call in advance and like recruit like 7 guys in
locally?
each city he went to.
Oh, geez.
And I was just like, no, like you're
done.
Yeah, you're done. So, eventually for the fall, we got down to like, all right, who's the strongest 6 that we all can lean on, depending this is going to happen. And that got us through the fall, and we were able to keep every home date we announced.
Yep.
And the team shuffled around a bit, but for the most part, we kept to what we said we were going to do, which has always been core.
So how close were you to this all falling apart? I mean, you guys have invested your time. This is your full-time job now. You bought the Old City Ice Arena. Now you got a field house. This has become you're working with youth leagues. I mean, you guys have really spread out, and I just am wondering, how close was it to this whole thing collapsing in on itself?
I mean, I
now
guess
that it hasn't, you can tell.
No, I guess I have crippling fear. It could be tomorrow for all I know. But no, I mean, we were always going to find some path. Like, failure wasn't an option. So, one way or another, like, we're going to get some matches in. If we
Amy Klobuchar said the same thing. And Pete Buttigieg before they dropped out. Failure turned out to be an option, but you're through the valley of death, and now you're strong coming into this season. Yeah, the strongest teams from the fall merged with the other league that was starting up at the same time. It's been a great marriage because that league has sanctioning from U.S. Soccer. We actually, we frankly, I think, had the stronger teams and brands, and so it's worked out well. They have the infrastructure, and now we're getting going, and we got 8 teams now. We're adding a few more in the fall. It's got some momentum. Fun thing is, it's the 3rd division of American soccer for whatever that means. But, we're playing teams. We're in LA, San Diego, Oakland. So if you're a casual fan, like, it has like a degree of credibility that we didn't have before. Okay. Before we get to the upcoming season and what you guys are offering and how people can get a part of it, we're going to move a little sheet metal here. It's because my friends at Zott Ford and Holly, they know that this whole go buy or lease your next vehicle from Zott Ford to support ML Soul of Detroit is a new concept for some of you. But what you need to know is that giving customers world-class service while making the entire process simple, fun, fast, and easy is nothing new to Zott Ford, because that's what they've been doing for almost 20 years. And we would certainly appreciate it if you're in the market for a new whip to give our friends at Zott a shot. They promise they will not disappoint, plus they have the lowest prices, period. Underlined, capital letters, bold type, maybe even italicized. Only one exclamation point, but they're serious about this. For example, right now you can lease a new 2020 Ford Fusion, Ford EcoSport, or Ford F-150, your choice, all right around $100 a month. Now, there's some conditions, so call our friends at Zott, and they'll talk you through it. You can have your choice of 3 brand new Ford cars, trucks, or SUVs, all around $100 a month. Plus, Zott Ford is your lease turn-in headquarters. Any make, any model, over miles, body damage, payments remaining, no problem at all for Zott. They'll get you in a new ride for the new year. Check out their sensational deals and massive inventory at dealsinthed.com. Please tell them ML sent you, because not too many people have told them that, and we really need to support Zott so they continue to support us. And we've invited them out to our big show on March 17th at the Caju Cafe. That's a Tuesday. We'll be live from noon to 2 o'clock. We're going to hang around afterwards. We'll have some swag. There's going to be some music, lots of good food, lots of good music. And we're trying to get everybody we can who's connected to the show to come out and join us. So, Sean, we've got a bigger season, a lot of travel. You're paying players, and you're still only charging $120 for a season pass. How does that? Where's the math there? I mean, that just seems impossible.
We're playing more games. With the pro moniker being on TV, corporate partnerships have increased, so that's helped meet. But in a day, it's butts in the seats. So most games are going to be on Saturdays, Saturday nights. So the more people coming down to Keyworth, having a good time, drinking, beers, not Altes, but other beers,
just get it yourself.
Good. Right.
Well, the sponsors help. I mean, obviously, it works only with the sponsors, as this little podcast does. And I was reading that you guys added, and I thought this was very progressive, or ballsy, as you might say, a marijuana company. Is that true? And was there any concern about that? I mean, it's illegal recreationally around here.
Yeah, I mean, it's legal now. It's being rolled out. You know what? We actually ended up not moving forward with the partnership.
Okay.
We ran into...
Because of concerns?
We ran into...
They couldn't get enough food vendors to go with it. It was a big drawback.
Yeah, we ran into a mutual roadblock we weren't contending on. So we're on good terms with them, but in everyone's best interest, we amicably have put that on hold.
Is it because of the product? Or is it because of other things? I just wonder because there's beer.
Yeah, just outside politics.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
did you at least get like a dime bag out of it?
We're good. We have a great relationship.
Because you seem very relaxed for everything you've went through. I'm wondering that maybe there's like a side deal here. There's like some professional courtesy among the CEOs. They're like, Sean, you seem tense with this travel schedule.
Yeah.
I might be able to help you out with a little something.
No,
and it'll clear up your glaucoma.
Yeah, laid back demeanor. But yeah, great.
It's interesting.
We've been growing. I think we're all going to get there. Like it's inevitable that.
Oh yeah.
But
there's still, it's not legal federally. So
right. Yep. So
I can see why, a bank or a healthcare provider might be a little cautious about it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I think once the banks can get that cash deposited in their accounts,
well, that's what I mean.
They'll be very open to it.
Most of them can't.
Yeah, because there's a lot of dough there.
Yeah.
So now, Sean Windsor has been to some of these DCFC games. Do you ever foresee the local media assigning a beat reporter to cover this team, Sean? Or what's the tipping point? Because I know there's so much for the traditional media to cover, and because people have stopped paying for the newspapers, the news organizations, which you shouldn't do, by the way. You need to support them too. So please subscribe to the Free Press of the News. But there's such a demand on you guys. I remember there was a time when you'd have somebody who covered half of the Spartans and the Wolverines season, another reporter who would cover it, and there's a backup reporter. Now you guys seem to go nonstop, and that was before the sexual abuse scandals. That was before the administrations all turned out to be not good. I'll be kind there. How do you juggle that demand for all the good things going on that say, we could use a Sean Windsor there?
Oh, so there was a question in that?
I thought you fell asleep half an hour ago, so I was just trying to give you a chance to get the wheels turning.
Oh, that's your voice, I guess. I thought you were going to ask me, do I foresee a sort of a cloud of smoke over the games?
There already is.
The stadium. Yeah, right. No, it depends on readers. And whenever I've written about events there, games there, the atmosphere there a couple times, and the response has been pretty good. Generally, when we send somebody there, the response has been pretty good. I mean, that's really, it would come down to metrics, to be honest with you.
What is
the
big
look, we're cutting back. I mean, I was at a Red Wings game last night. We're talking to some of the reporters. We don't go to Red Wings games on the roads at times now, or Pistons games, or frankly, we're skipping 4 or 5 series a year with the Tigers.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
It is, and
you
it's
just can't spread yourself that thin. I mean, I'm grateful. Well, okay, that's not true, but I'm glad. Okay, maybe that's not true. It's nice that you could make it today. That's guess.
I know you were shocked I was at a Red Wings game last night, but seriously,
I was too. Not a bad game.
No, it wasn't. They were
2-1 against the Avalanche.
Were surprisingly competitive.
That's the bar now. Not a bad game.
Well, no, when a team from out of town is playing the Red Wings because their goalie never has a painted mask, which means it's always a guy they brought up from the minors. They're like, dude, my mask will be back tomorrow. It's like, doesn't matter. We're playing the Red Wings.
Let me just say that I was actually
get your first win, kid.
I thought about DCFC last night because if you were there, were you actually there?
I was there.
You sure? Okay. In any case, the atmosphere was surprisingly fun last night. And I think,
90s night.
and it was 90s night, maybe a little bit Colorado. McCarty was there, Darren McCarty. But there was a positivity in the stands in a way. They wanted to win, but they didn't really care. And it's been that way largely this year. And it reminded me of going to a soccer game in Hamtramck.
It was 2-1, so there's another reminder.
Well, but there's so much, not disgust, there's just so much frustration and sort of melancholy with the 4 pro sports teams. So it was nice to see that last night. It reminded me a little bit, again, of being in Hamtramck that way. It's obviously those fans want wins too, but you're selling something else a little bit. And the Wings are onto that. It won't last, obviously. They're going to have to start winning at some point.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of that a little bit last night. And I was surprised how many people were there.
When I think of butts in seats, Sean, have you guys ever done any comparisons to find out on some nights whether you're drawn more than the Tigers? 'Cause you guys, you max out around 7,500, 8,000, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be some nights it was close.
There's probably some nights where it's been close, especially like rain nights, because when it rains at our games, we still have pretty much 90% turnout.
That's because soccer players are tough. They never lay on the ground rolling around with the fake. Maybe they do, but it's still fun. It's still fun.
Yeah, I mean,
They will play in the rain, though.
They do, and when they roll
snow.
around on the ground, you get that time back, right? I mean, so
Right.
you
Yeah.
get what you pay for.
Yeah, sure.
but we, it's worth pointing out, like, the product we're putting on the field right now. We only lost 2 games last year. We beat one of the top, 10 teams in Mexico, which was shocking. Which was funny because like that was national news with the sports reporters in Mexico,
Right.
and so we're blowing up Twitter in Spanish. But we,
Yes, Detroit Football Club.
yeah, I mean, it was a colossal embarrassment for them, frankly, right? And so for us, I mean, we're always striving for more of that.
To
earned
that
media.
point, then, like, what is the biggest challenge? Because is it just because it's soccer and people just don't want to have anything to do with the sport because they find it boring? Or is it because do you need to brand it as an event? Doesn't matter what's going on in the field. I mean, how do you balance those two?
I mean, for us, we're not MLS and we're in a major market, so we're always going to go upstream against that until we cross that bridge if we ever do.
But it's not like there's an MLS team here.
Right.
I guess it turns out having a billionaire doesn't get you an MLS team because there's a bunch of billionaires who think they know what they're doing.
Well, if they were serious about it, well, that's a battle. But
I always wonder, and we could do a whole show on this, and maybe we should, but on whether Dan Gilbert was ever serious about
That's what I
putting the
mean.
soccer field over on the jail site, or if that was just a hustle to get the jail site.
Yeah.
And then, we got to put together a proposal. So, we'll do Ford Field.
Oh, I firmly believe that's that's what happened there. That's neither here nor there, though, because you are the only game in town for soccer. How do you get people to get over the stigma, I suppose? And realize that there is something cool going on down there, an event to go to.
I don't know if there's a stigma. I mean,
there's a stigma.
Okay,
There's an anti-soccer stigma.
I mean, it's
Stigma.
yeah, we're a legacy sports town. Each of the teams have been around here for 80 plus years. They're culturally ingrained. I think what we offer as a counterpoint to that is a different experience. It's more accessible, more affordable. Just more fun. I would argue
Yeah.
at the moment. And we did a fan survey I mentioned earlier, and 80-some% of our fans, number thing they rank why they come is the atmosphere.
What? And for the Northern Guard folks, I got to believe a lot of it is there's a big social aspect too, where this is where you come to see your friends, and
our clubhouse at the training facility, I joke it's like a modern day Elks Lodge. Like if you are a fan, you can walk in there and you're going to meet somebody at the bar who you don't need to coordinate. You just walk in and you're going to know people there. So
how's the field house doing, by the way?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's one of the reasons we can take these risks because it helps. Puts us in the black. So
I think I'm joining the volleyball league there in a couple weeks. So if we're looking for a couple of setters out there, if you want to send me an email at mlsolardetroit@gmail.com.
When's
Oh,
it?
yeah, no.
Sean, were you getting ready to set, or were you,
Well,
were you looking at a
because
block?
I think he was writing that down to become a
was it?
setter.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's just Mike for you. The atmosphere is critical, and it's true in every sport. In baseball, there are 81 home games a year, and there are 30-some teams in a league, and most teams are going to not be very competitive, right? Or at least half of them.
People grow up on baseball, though.
No, but and to your point, Mark, about there being a stigma,
People hate soccer.
But look, man, if we're going to be real,
Mark, for the record, loves soccer.
Love it.
So
Mike-
he's not just trying to stir the pot.
Mike and his little whatever last night at the arena at Little Caesars. But I was there. I was walking through the corridor, and what do you notice? It's lily white, but it's a different kind of lily white than soccer. Those fans are, right, a little bit more conservative. Soccer fans are a little bit more progressive. So, to your point, Mark, I don't know if it's a stigma. It's trying to.
I don't label people.
It's the same, but there's studies and there are metrics that go with all this, and there are reasons that corporations dig into this or who their fan bases are. The NFL's fan base versus the NBA's fan base. Go to the Little Caesars when the Pistons are there. It's a completely different crowd from a completely different part of our metro area.
Nobody's
by and
skating.
large.
I noticed that right away.
Well, that's true too.
It's a big difference.
But so I don't know if it's a stigma, Mark. It's just different people have different tastes and they're from different backgrounds and they like different things.
Sean, before you go, tell people how they can get tickets, how they can get involved. Remind us when that first game is, and not sold out yet. And do you have any international friendlies? You guys always seem to do a big event game every year. What's coming up for that?
Yeah, none have been announced yet. We're working on those. But
You can just whisper it to Mark.
Mark,
get your mic ready.
home opener March 21st. Tickets at DebtCityFC.com. Match is sponsored by Toll Merdue on the heels of St. Patrick's Day, so we'll have some celebratory toast.
Very nice.
And a new era for DCFC, and first time we've had a pro soccer team in generations. So,
how much are the individual tickets?
$12.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And is that the same at the gate, or are you pretty much sold out before you get up to the
$15
turnstile?
at the gate. Yeah.
15. Okay. So I used to go see the Detroit Express play at the Silverdome, who were garbage unless Trevor Francis was in town, and they were world beaters. So it's nice to have professional soccer back in Detroit. And again, this is how Detroit's going to save itself. People coming together and saying, we want something, we're willing to work for something, we're willing to risk something.
It is an amazing story.
By cracky, it just might work.
Oh, it's a great story.
So, Sean, thanks for coming. Good luck. And once again, don't screw it up, man.
I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
Freight nut. Freight out. Freight nut. Freight out. Freight nut infinity. Freight out infinity plus one. No.
It's time for our great debate, but first we're going to take a little pause for poise and for a little commerce. So if you are looking for a mortgage, and why wouldn't you be? Because the rates are getting better all the time. Here's the silver lining from the coronavirus. The Fed is freaking out, and they're going to lower rates. At some point, probably some point soon.
They announced it today. They
Yeah.
lowered it, yeah.
So that's going to help the mortgage market. And already, if you're paying more than 4% on your mortgage, it makes sense to call Hall Financial. Because if you got lingering high-interest credit card debt, what are you doing paying 20, 30, whatever percent on that when you can refi, take some cash out of your crib, get it in there, pay that stuff off, and then you'll be paying very low, single digits on all that stuff. Now, you may or may not know that right now rates are within fractions of a percentage point of the lowest they've been over the last decade. A smart idea would be to call the company with over 1,000 five-star reviews, including my own, and that's recently been averaging 10 days from start to finish. Not for me, because my idea was pretty crazy. All my fault, but the creative forces at Hall Financial, Dan Morrison. I was going to say Dan the Man, but I think I like with St. Patrick's Day, we'll call him Dan Van Morrison, and his able colleague Sharon. I think it's pronounced Barcat, but I call her the Bearcat because she was like a tiger getting me that deal, trying to get me financing when it looked like I was going to be unemployed. In fact, I was very much unemployed for a little. But anyways, that's all changed. But it's a simple process, and it's no secret saving money is smart. You can get started by calling 248-308-5000 or going to davidhallmortgage.com. That's 248-308-5000 or davidhallmortgage.com. Please give them a call, and when you do, tell them ML Soul of Detroit sent you. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1467435. And now it's time for our great debate. And, this is one of these where, as we talk about it, I'm going to be kind of, I think, wishy-washy on this because there is a middle school in Utah that requires kids to dance with anyone who asks. Now, I guess This may depend on what end of the dance continuum you are. If you're a good-looking kid like Joe, it's a drag because you're telling all the ladies, back off. There's only so much Joe to go around. Now, if you're in the boat with me, you're like, will you please dance with me? And then, it burns! It burns! Sean's looking at me and saying, like, who could turn you down? He's trying to hold my hand right now.
I can't. I'm playing footsie
and I
under the
appreciate
table.
that. I appreciate that. I take affection from any direction. Just keep your erection, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, family-friendly show here in the basement. Maybe it's the coronavirus. So anyways, this young lady at Laketon, Utah, is getting ready for the dance. She puts on her red and pink floral sundress over a long-sleeve T-shirt and leggings, carefully arranges her hair, and then dances with the boy she really liked. And she was really happy.
Good.
But in the same breath, she was exasperated, her mother reports to the Washington Post, which you should subscribe to, because she had to dance with the boy she hates. And she was told, no, you got to dance. The school principal rushed over and said, please don't say no. It's against the school rules. And there's a good reason for this.
There is?
Yes, they want to encourage kindness. They don't want kids to feel rejected. That's good, right?
Well, kindness doesn't mean that you automatically get whatever you want. I mean, what about the respecting what the girl wants? If she doesn't want to dance with some loser, she should say, get away. I don't want to dance with you, you loser. And as far as...
Donald Trump Jr.
Well, what? I mean,
he likes to call everybody losers, so that's fine calling a 7th grader a loser.
Well, maybe he is.
She might have been in 8th grade.
Hey, there's plenty of 7th graders that are losers.
It's not too late for that. Can we at least just say, okay, loser at 25?
But
I've been hearing it for longer than that. But
me too.
So
doesn't it build character to be told no?
You know what? I'm a little bit wishy-washy like you, but I'm with Mark on this one. You got to learn to deal with rejection.
Yeah.
You just do. And
wow.
Here's the thing: if they were going to say no slow dancing, right? If they define the parameters of what the dance is and how you can dance and how close you have to be,
you got to leave room for Jesus.
And if they want to loosen that, if they want to spread that out, so to speak, and have it be a lot more casual,
so to speak, where are we going?
And no slow dance. Well, I know that's where that
so
sort of thing starts.
Macarena, okay. Everything else?
Then maybe that's fine. You can say, you know what, if somebody asks you to dance, be kind and go dance with them. But if there's any hint at all of tension, and that starts in 7th and 8th grade, it does. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Then I'd think we can't say to women, to young girls, you have to say, yes, that's outrageous.
So here's the school's position, and I guess the people who defend this policy.
I didn't know this was in Utah, by the way. So.
Oh, does that change everything?
Oh, well, yeah. It seems like this would be.
Well, they're trying to get them used to having 10 guys at once.
Oh my!
Thank you. What a bunch of losers!
Wow!
It seems like a very
our non-judgmental partner here is.
I want to hear why does this?
Oh, that's fine if that's your thing. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Is it fine if that's your thing?
Can we have a moment of
judge that.
Plural marriages?
Can we have a moment of silence
God
for
wants it?
What's that?
For
plural
Bill,
marriages because God wants it?
Oh, evolution wants it.
Who's my man Bill from Weird Science?
Evolution does not want marriage.
Who's in Big Love?
Exactly.
Are you having? I'm sorry. Are we having Bill Paxton? Is who you're talking
Can we have a
about?
moment
Big
of
Love,
silence
great show,
for Bill Paxton?
I'm sorry. You haven't talked enough. Go ahead, Mike.
Man, I don't know if you've been keeping up with current events, Sean.
I want to see how you.
We just got our asses kicked.
I want to see how you can possibly defend.
Okay,
this.
so here's the defense: that the unwanted dance surfaced concerns about rape culture, teaching children to appropriately handle rejection, and respecting boundaries students set for themselves. So the people who think this is there should not be a policy say, yes, not only that you should be able to handle
Correct
rejection,
people.
but they say that this is about teaching young girls that they can say no.
Absolutely.
Right. That
And
it's
young
okay.
boys that they have to respect that, more importantly.
Yeah.
But here's
Or
what I
just
want
as
to know.
importantly.
Do the boys have to dance with whoever asks them to dance?
You mean if it's another boy?
If it's another boy.
Is that what you're asking?
Jenny Jones, here we go. Yes,
but I think that's an aspect of it too. What if? I mean, once again, it's Utah, so unlikely. But what if another boy wanted to dance with a boy? Was he supposed to say no?
I haven't really thought that.
I understand this, Mark. I'm sure you do too. in theory, right? Like the intent behind it. But can you do that in other ways?
It's a rule that looks nice on paper, but doesn't really exist in the real world.
No. If you want to do that with sports or something like we were at I was at the Unified gathering basketball tournament in Novi a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right. That's all about inclusion in a way that's you're not going to make somebody feel uncomfortable, right? Because they have to participate. They're being forced to participate in something. So I think there are other ways middle schools can teach this lesson.
And is this supposed to, by the school's rule, where you have to do that? How far is that going to extend a person's life? Are they always just going to say, okay,
you know what? If they really want to get radical,
acquiesce to every offer and just never learn to say no?
Are you guys going to kiss?
Well, I was just going to say, Mark.
Are you going to defend the other side ever?
On behalf of every dude, which is pretty much me, and everybody I knew who got shot down at the dance.
Listen, I'm
going to say there's no harm.
I got shot down all the time. I still do. But if they really want to get radical and
does Ann know you're
bring this
middle school girls to dance?
Ann doesn't know me. Okay. How about at lunch? No, seriously. How about that they make the kids sit with kids they don't want to eat lunch?
I think that's dumb too.
If you really want to do it, so you got to mix your tables up, and you got to. Because that's what this is really all about, right? You're trying to get to understand and know other people that you otherwise wouldn't. There are other ways to do that. If we want to engineer socially, do it at the lunch table.
But then you're still forcing something that isn't, natural. I mean, people want to be around themselves. You learn to accept other people and other cultures. You can't make people be friends.
No, not to be friends, but
then
to
there's
see them
people like me who
people.
sat by themselves because they really wanted to. That's the only reason.
I mean, I guess I was in that camp too, but I don't know. Put uniforms on them and make everybody look the same and figure out each other by what comes out of their mouth, so to speak.
Before we have a group hug, we're going to wrap up your great debate. Now let's get that hug.
It's nice to know that, though, you like to subject women to that way, in that way.
I just like how girly they are.
Oh, man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
Our Geek of the Week, perhaps not surprisingly, is someone in authority. It's a judge in Louisiana who resigned, God bless her, after getting caught using the N-word in texts that she said the public was never meant to see. Well, that kind of goes without saying. But this Judge Jesse LeBlanc, or maybe it's LeBlanc, I don't know, admitted to using the slur multiple times in a text exchange with her lover in reference to a black Assumption Parish deputy and a black court clerk. The text messages came to light when they published a conversation the judge had with her lover, who is a sheriff's deputy. They had an 8-year affair, and LeBlanc, the judge, expressed anger that her lover, the deputy, who was also married, could have been seeing, I believe it's LeBlanc's clerk, who was black. She was also annoyed that Prejean, her deputy lover, might have been hanging out with his friend, who was also a deputy and was black, whom she called a thug, and the N-word. So Sean's in on this one right away. And the N-word multiple times during a December exchange. Now, this is unacceptable, and she's clearly an idiot, but this is what gets her Geek of the Week. She says, I know that I am not a racist. Wrong. I know that I treat everyone with respect. It doesn't matter who you are. Well, if you don't mind me saying, honey child, the one person who you didn't treat
honey child?
What? That's her middle name. That's her screen name.
No wonder you don't want girls to be able to say no at a middle school dance.
I'm going to get racial here. I'm going to get racial.
I said she was bad for saying she shouldn't have used the thug word. I thought I had Sean with me for the rest of the show, but it blew up in my face.
No, you don't have me. I spotted that immediately. She was interchanging thug and the N-word, which is what I've been trying to get you to understand for a month. But I'm glad you finally see that.
Context.
And because you put those two words together means I should? No, sir, I will not concede.
Oh, it means just acknowledge that people like this judge or honey child do.
Why do you call her honey child?
That's
what it said.
Oh,
no.
Wait. Was the D silent? Did you say honey child?
By the time this...
Is that what you said?
That's racist.
By the time this airs, my honey child
No, like
will
Voodoo
be cut
Child.
out.
I'm
And
thinking about
Sean's
Hendrix.
will
He's
stand
black.
alone. That's Voodoo Child. Anyways.
Because there's no D on that.
She says she respects everyone except for the husband she'd been cheating on for 8 years. So, Judge Jesse not Honey Child, LeBlanc, Sweetie Pie. You are our Geek of the Week. Kisses.
See you again.
There's an all-night party in room 7609. And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
Welcome to Room 7609, where we take great new wave bands and try and draw some attention to some of their underappreciated work, or we take an underappreciated new wave band and try and elevate them to at least get a couple of clicks because they've done some great work that everybody's missed. We're taking a little bit different direction today in honor of Sean Mann, our guest from Detroit City Football Club, in playing a New Order song that actually was one of their biggest hits. But we need your help, folks, because there's some bands like New Order, who I love, Depeche Mode, who I love, The Smiths, who I love, The Cure, who I love, who have so many great songs that it's really hard to find one of theirs that hasn't gotten the attention it deserves. So if you have a suggestion, and we've gotten some in the past and recently as well, please send them to us at mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. Please let us know what you think is an overlooked gem. And in the meantime, listen to this New Order song, their 1990 World Cup song.
Oh, boy.
What was that?
It's a theme song for the World Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's why we picked it.
Okay.
Sean Mann. See, people do like soccer.
Up the chase, beat the man, take him on. You never give up. It's one-on-one. Express yourself. It's one-on-one. Express yourself. It's one-on-one. Express yourself. You can't be wrong when something's good. It's never gone. Love's got the world in motion, and I know what we can do. Love's got the world in motion, and I can't believe it
I know this is late news, but England didn't win the World Cup.
That was a pretty terrible song.
Yeah, so as someone who loves New Order, I'm curious to get your thoughts. Mark says thumbs down.
Right. And you hate England because you love Ireland?
Well, you know, I actually love England. I love everybody, Sean, and everything.
You specifically like Northern Ireland?
Whoa.
That didn't sound
Northern
very
Ireland's
New
nice.
Order-ish, did it, to you? I mean, to me, I don't know much about anything.
Yeah, no, it sounded kind of hokey and kind of.
I think they phoned it in for the money.
Super poppy, really. Right?
Yeah. It was definitely more accessible. And the one thing with New Order that I am always driven to is the powerful bass lines and how the bass carries the melody. And this is just kind of a sing-songy, chirpy.
Yeah, like Bananarama or whatever.
That's weird. Yeah,
I like Bananarama.
Nice choice.
I like Bananarama, but
I did like that Cruel Summer.
I do not like banana hammocks. So
It sounds slippery.
We're gonna have a dress code here, folks. So room 7609. I guess we're kind of backing into. We would love to bring to your attention some sort of underappreciated New Order hit by bringing some New Order shit to you this week. But we really wanted to make Sean feel welcome with the biggest and the best New Order New Wave soccer song we could find. It turns out that category is very small.
DCFC, Sean, not me, because you never want to make me feel welcome.
I always want to make you feel welcome.
Mark
What about that
does.
shoulder rub in the green room?
Mark does. I don't
You're always welcome.
Yeah, I thought it was a shoulder rub, and Sean said, I'm standing on my hands. And I said, oh,
Well, thank God you have the right to say no.
So you rub my feet?
I think it's the less said about it, the better, just for the sake of our families. And
Might as well come out in the open.
And anybody listening who's had something to eat.
I mean, I couldn't say no, right? You don't want anybody to say no per your middle school argument.
I just have a lot of pain, Sean.
Yeah, and it made you who you are.
I live with a lot of pain. Yes, a very sad, angry man who spends time in a basement cobbling.
A dictator.
I started my part-time job this week. That was kinda cool.
Congratulations.
Really? I heard you were at the Free Press.
I was at the Free
That's
Press.
good news.
So please, when I've been telling you to subscribe because I believe it's the way it should be. I don't think anything worth its salt should be presumed to be free because a lot of people work hard to do it. Sean among them, and I say that now because we're in the same union, and I'll be grieved if I don't. But I am now encouraging you to subscribe to the Free Press because it's going to pay my frigging salary.
That's
So
great.
before it was the right thing to do. Now it's another sponsor opportunity.
And now this drop is applicable again.
I'm from the Free Press. What's up my butt?
So hurtful. So hurtful.
What?
And there goes our.
Why is that hurtful?
Our well, because it was up my butt. Have you been following the deal sales?
Why would that hurt you at this point?
Whoa. Okay. It's time to go, right? Oh, shit. We got a couple minutes left. So I want to encourage you to join us. Get the day off because you know you're not going to do any work anyways. On March 17th at the Caju Cafe. That's on the east side. It's on Caju. I'm within stumbling distance, so I'm very excited about this. Mark's going to be there. Sean's going to be there. Joe's going to be there. You don't have to dance with anybody if you don't want to.
Still going to be a special guest showing up.
Yes, we are going to have a very special guest. Devin Skillion, a fine East Side gentleman, a former colleague of mine at a local news station, is going to be there. We're going to have some more special guests who will announce between now and then. You're all welcome to come out. I believe it's free to get in. They're going to have food, beer, and when we're done, we're going to hang out with people. We're going to be selling some of our fine merchandise. If you can't wait, or if you really want to impress us, you can get some of those fine threads before the 17th by going to drewandmikestore.com where we have T-shirts, we have stickers. If you're too cheap to get a T-shirt, get a sticker and put it on a T-shirt and call it a Soul of Detroit T-shirt. We don't care. We also have autographed copies of the Kwame Sutra, and we have our fantastic Soul of Detroit hockey jerseys. So you can order those. They're all very reasonably priced and will be lovingly packaged and shipped expeditiously. You can support this endeavor by donating at our website. Mark, how do people give us their money?
MLSolodetroit.com, little donate button.
And it's pretty easy, right?
Right to PayPal. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, no, it's not easy at all. I'm like, prove me wrong.
Try it, try
just see how easy it is. And I think you'll be very pleased, and so will we. And we want to hear from you. Please send us your suggestions, send us your feedback, mean tweets, whatever you got. Send them to us at mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. You can give us a call. We'd love to hear your voice on these airwaves. Maybe you would too. The way you do that is you dial up 313-288 89070. That's Butterfield 89070. You can follow me on Facebook. That's ML Elric on Facebook. That's how you get the updates on the show. Or on Twitter, at Elric at Twitter. That's at ELRICK. Please follow me on Facebook and Twitter because Drew is trying to pass me on Facebook.
He hasn't passed you yet?
I don't think so, but once he wants to do something, it's really easy. Sean.
Just one last thing. May I have this dance?
What's that song about the dead kid dancing with her?
Because you don't have a choice.
Or whatever that is.
What?
You know
Mary Jane's Last Dance?
No, that sappy song about the guy
me think
dancing
of
with
Rick
his
James.
daughter who's dying or something. They play it at weddings and everybody cries.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, tune in next week.
Sounds terrible.
To Room
What
7609.
an uplifting song.
Yes, to hear a horrible song.
Or we could listen to Mary Jane by Rick James.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Damn. Okay, well, that's down the hall. That's
I know, a little too funky for you, but that's all right.
No,
That's just Room 69.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh.
Looks like it's time for us to go. You have been listening to ML Soul of Detroit on the Red Shovel Network. Cyrus, take us out.
Can you dig that?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?